Welcome everyone to the 2018 Preschool Mindfulness Summit. I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, Tammy Pomroy. She's the director and founder at ABC and Rice, which is an NGO in Cambodia. I got to know Tammy last year when I was living in Cambodia, and I had the opportunity to go in and work a bit at ABC's, and she's just a wonderful person, a wonderful friend, and she's doing amazing things in the world. She's won the Governor General Award, I think 2 times in Canada, as well as many other awards. ABC is a registered Canadian charity and does all kinds of things which she'll tell us about. So welcome, Tammy, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Helen. How are you?
Good, fine, thanks. So we have all kinds of people from all over the world, teachers and parents and other educators. So tell us a little bit about ABCs and the different programs that you offer, and what your aims and goals are with the organization.
Well, ABCs is really about letting the children be children. We started in 2009 as a simple school in a bamboo hut, and met all these wonderful, deserving children who unfortunately just didn't have access to basically any of the basic human rights. The children didn't have enough to eat, they didn't have clothing, they don't have proper shelter, and they couldn't access education. Education is subsidized here by the government. However, the children have to pay their teachers as a way of compensating the salary. So the children that we work with couldn't afford to go to school. So we set up a school, and we've evolved a great deal. We've hit a lot of bumps along the way and just been very flexible. So now we have an English language school as our nucleus, but we send all of the children to government school. Obviously, being literate in your own language is key. Not only that, but we want these children to truly be anything they want to be. And without a government school diploma, university is not an option. So we have a school here. We send them to government school, half day, which is the standard, half day at English school. But also we feed them breakfast and lunch to make sure they can focus on their studies and not on their rumbling bellies. We provide medical, dental. We also send food home in the form of rice rations, hence the name, which allows the parents to not be encouraged to send their children out to work, but rather allow them to come to school. And then on top of that, we support the families, and our sustainability program, which is Full Belly Farm, actually helps individuals in the neighborhood with disabilities, physical disabilities primarily. So we have families living on site, basically anything that it takes to allow a child access to school and access to a happy and healthy childhood.
Wow, yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful, exciting place, and so many good things are going on there. I think anybody that gets the chance to see or hear about ABCs just falls in love with the concept and sees how many children it's helping. And you've had some students that have graduated, and then you've supported them through post-secondary education, haven't you? So
yes, we have sponsors around the world helping our students that are in university. But basically, once you become a member of ABCs and Rice, as a child, you're part of the family. So as long as education is paramount in your life, then we're going to be behind you. We have 2 that are currently in med school, which of course took my proud mom moment there. We have a few that have already graduated vocational studies and various local universities. And we have a few more that are studying things like international relations, chef training, business management.
Right. So those
definitely seeing the
they're
fruits.
going to be the change makers of Cambodia's future.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So tell us. So you went to Cambodia and you founded this school. How did that happen? Tell us about how it all started.
Well, basically, I took a leave from work in Canada, heading to Thailand for the vacation / adventure of a lifetime. Little did I know. So I joined a tour group that would take me through Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and end in Thailand, where I would have the core of my vacation and then get back to work. However, I fell in love in Siem Reap. There was an advertisement in the hotel that my tour group was staying at, and it prompted me to have a discussion with the tour leader. Could I go off and volunteer as opposed to seeing the temples? And that's what I did, and it seized my heart. What was supposed to be 3 days ended up being just over 3 weeks, at which point I made my way to Thailand, did a couple of days in Bangkok, flew home, and asked my mother if her daughter could move back in and be a bum for a few months. Quit my job, did some fundraising, came back immediately and started a school.
And what I was going to say, it started off just with a small hut in a village, didn't it? And then it's grown. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a plan. When I came back, I knew that I was coming back to look into how I could help. I felt that I was changed, and I needed to help these people that I'd fallen in love with, these children, and the whole culture of the Cambodian people. They're so kind and loving and giving despite having nothing. So it started off as volunteering throughout Siem Reap, and then eventually building a bamboo hut where I would offer some English language classes, which evolved into a full-time ESL classroom, and then offering Khmer and math. Slowly we grew a breakfast club and then a lunch club. We discovered that the children couldn't come to school because they were working, which is where the rice came in. I was off on a mad hunt to find money to pay these families to allow the children to come, and quickly realized that rice was easier, more sustainable for me to get, and also made more sense. These children come from backgrounds that quite often there's a lot of gambling, drug addiction, etc. So giving rice, which is what they truly need, just ensured that we weren't sending children home with money that would help their parents be away from home, and rather we were sending home something that the children could use and the family
could use. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, I know I've asked you this before, but for our viewers, why lots of people want to help to do things around the world, and people do that in all different ways, but it's quite I know you don't think it's a sacrifice, but you know, other people watching will say, like, you know, what makes you give up your comfortable life, your nice job, to go into this unknown country and, you know, just, I mean, you're there and you've grown this organization, and I know how hard you work, and it's all done by, you know, all supported by small donors, like personal donors from around the world. So what is it that inside of you that made you do that?
I think really when I left the tour group and went out to volunteer was the first time that I'd actually seen poverty when it's not on a commercial, where I can either give up my coffee each day and feel great, or I can change the channels and not feel so bad. And it was different. I mean, you've seen it. Poverty is actually quite different. It's not crying children with forsaken looks in their eyes, looking into the camera, asking for food. It's families who don't have enough to survive, and finding a meal, if you would even call it that, each day is enough. However, here I was walking through these villages, and these people were offering me their last bites of rice. And they smiled and they were kind, and it just seemed so unfair that these lovely people would give up anything that they had to make a visitor feel welcome, when I was on vacation worrying about being away from my job for too long. the the economic situation back home. If I got laid off, my government would only give me 80% of my salary.
Right.
How could I afford my pedicures? And it was really overwhelming, and you're really prompted to make a change. I don't think everybody has to make such an extreme change, or everybody is drawn to, but this change wasn't selfish. It really fed something in me that I didn't know I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were obviously meant to do it, because you've changed so many lives, so many children and families, with your team and your guidance. And I know what you mean. When I used to go to ABCs, I was always amazed, because children that have no toys, they're playing with elastic bands and bottle caps, but they'll try to share them with you. They'll run and try to give them to you, or sometimes schools or other organizations or people will send care packages with stickers and things, and as soon as the children have anything, they immediately try to share it with you, and it's just such an amazing thing to see, really, and it really does change your point of view on a lot of things, for sure. So as you said, a lot of the kids have some kind of trauma. Obviously they're extremely poor, but there's a lot of different kinds of abuse of children in Cambodia, a lot of trauma in children's lives, and children going out working and that kind of thing. So when they come to ABCs and Rice, I know you provide a lot of social emotional learning and support to help the children. So just tell us about what you do that gets the children to feel so safe and secure being at the school.
We work really hard on making the children feel comfortable and creating almost a family type environment. I mean, their parents all would have post-traumatic stress disorder, but not even recognize that or know that it is a thing, and it is being passed on to the children. Domestic violence is quite common in Cambodia, which is unfortunate. But they're learning, and they want to be better. So we work really hard with the children just to create a secure environment, and teaching mindfulness is part of that, teaching empathy, how to feel your feelings and be aware that it's okay to be angry or sad, but you need to control how you act on that. And just teaching them that we're all equal,
Yeah.
whether that's male, female, Khmer, Westerner, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic background. It doesn't matter your religion. We're all people, and people have rights and people have responsibilities, and it's okay. It's natural. So whether it's a child who's having a horrible day, being allowed to stomp their feet and connect, or as you helped us with, if it's a classroom full of ducklings, the 3 to 4 year olds making mindfulness jars with the sparkles inside, and just learning that life can be chaotic, but settling allows us to see more clearly. So we follow the wise words of our friends and try to role model different things amongst all of our staff and amongst all of our children.
Yeah, there's wonderful things going on. And just a bit more about the post-traumatic stress, for people who might not know that are watching. Cambodia has a very violent history, and there's a movie on Netflix. Angelina Jolie did that. If people are interested in seeing, but a large proportion of the country was killed quite recently, in terms of modern history, and that has influenced the country so much, hasn't it, and caused a lot of this poverty and desperation in different areas.
Yes, and it was something that I was totally unaware of before I came. Not something that we learned in history class, but yeah, good point. Watch First They Killed My Father, to get a feel for what this country has so recently began recovering from.
Yeah. So, what do you think is the most important thing that you teach the kids when they come to ABCs and Rice? Because we've seen so many kids go through and really thrive. You know, thrive. They feel safe. I know. I've heard you say before. Um, when the kids start, maybe some of them are a bit unsure, like, this seems too good to be true. Is it going to continue? Am I really going to be fed every,
Yeah.
right? But so what would you say to that? What's the most important thing to make them realize that, this isn't something that's going to be given and taken away, but that's there for their duration of their education and
I think,
beyond.
yeah, I think the big thing that we enforce every day, twice a day, in fact, is that they truly, their path is not predetermined.
Yeah.
If they work hard, they can be anything they want to be.
Yeah.
And we chant it every morning, and we give them the tools to make that happen. And we're really big on teaching self-respect and respect of all others. Imagine how that person would feel. We've got steps to conflict resolution. Our children come into an environment that's already been so nurturing that we don't have a lot of the same issues that other schools most likely have around the world, certainly other classrooms, whether it be cheating or fighting. Our fights are more about, she doesn't want to be my friend today, or
Right.
so we all follow the same steps each day for any sort of discipline and conflict resolution, and teaching them that they have those tools out in the playground as well. So respect, equality, and that hard work will truly get them where they want to be.
Yeah. It's an amazing place, and you really do see that empathy and compassion in the children, and I think that's because of the discussion and it's something that's very consistent within the school and the curriculum, and something the children learn very quickly. And there's also the sense of community. I know recently there was a lot of flooding, and which is very dangerous. The floods get very, very high, and I mean higher than
Mhm.
some of the children, right? And
Yes.
so the parents and the families were able to come and sleep in the huts, which are the
Mhm.
classrooms, for safety. So there's all kinds of support going on in the school, isn't there? And I think that sense of community, when I visited, that's what I felt the year that I was in Cambodia. You just feel that community when you walk into the school and into the farm, and the whole the part, and um, that comes down to, I think, your leadership. So
I know.
I know you don't like being flattered, so yeah, but
We do certainly have an amazing crew.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's a
we've
lot of
been
good
so lucky.
people, lots of good teachers that are, the teachers are all local Khmer teachers.
Mhm.
So it's a very sustainable project. And then you have people like me or other people coming in and doing teacher training. And there's always things going on, different organizations coming in and, building the playground, for instance. And um, so it really is a wonderful organization. I wanted to mention actually that Tammy and I are organizing a education tour. We're looking at May of this year. So if you click on Tammy's speaker info button on I think it's on the right of your screen, that will take you to information about ABCs and how you can donate if you want to. The whole school, as we mentioned, is run on donations, and it doesn't have to be a monetary donation. We had people sending books and all kinds. We've gotten all kinds of different items that you need from donations, and there's also a link to this education tour. And what we're hoping to do is to spread awareness and to help these children. So we're looking for educators that want to come and do some teacher training on a professional development day, and see the school help the local teachers who are all, there's quite a few newer teachers, so they're always looking for guidance from more experienced educators. And there'll be all kinds of different opportunities within the week to do different things, and then to participate in a professional development day. And then of course there'll be lots of fun things like going to see Angkor Wat and
Yes.
Safari Circus, and seeing the real Cambodia, as well as going to the villages that ABC supports, and giving rice and things like that. So if you're interested in that, please just click on that link, and then I will be able to send you more information. And Tammy wants to see you all. Yeah. So Tammy, you also go on a couple of times a year. I think you go back to Canada or to other countries, and you do tours, and you speak to children and children and teachers in schools about how you ended up in Cambodia and about your organization. When you go there, what is your goal, and what are you trying to teach the children? Because I know it's not just about supporting ABCs, it's a much broader vision than that. So tell us a little bit about what you hope to get out of those visits.
When I stop and talk at the schools, I think there's a lot of reasons, but basically our parents saw that there were problems around the world, we started to talk about it, and then our generation and the immediate following generation, volunteerism became a big deal. People are actively trying to see how they can help, and they're willing to give their time. They're fighting more for social justice. But I think it's the children that are in primary school now and high school now that get it. They're aware, they've got access to global information, they have good role models, they're intelligent and hardworking, and they're going to go out and make a change.
Yes.
If they know it's an option. So I tell them about what I'm doing, but I also tell them how it started, because it literally started with no money and, a hope, a prayer, a lot of passion, making the time, and people started to follow. So it's much like that dancing idiot in the field. Somebody else is going to get up, and then somebody else is going to get up. And I try and talk to the kids about standing up for what they think is right, number one, even if it's not the cool thing to do, because people will follow. People inherently want to do what's right. And it takes nothing to be the change that you actually want to see in the world. You don't have to move to the other side of the world and try to find funding to start a school. You can be talking to the child that has no friends. Talk to the smelly kid. Help the old man across the street. Do the old ladies shoveling, whatever it is, whatever strikes you. If everybody made one step forward to making something better in a place that they felt passion, then the world would be a better place. And for me, it was Cambodia, and it was a series of things. It was the pollution, it was the treatment of animals, and it was the children. And it just made sense for me to educate the children and empower the young girls, because that spreads like wildfire. And we do. We're teaching English, but we talk about respecting different cultures and religions. We talk about caring for animals. We talk about caring for our earth. We talk about everything. We talk about violence and what is and isn't okay. And we've almost morphed into a bit of a morals school, but it was unintentional. And it's just about making the world a better place. Everybody's got a role to play. Everybody has a personal responsibility, and our children are no different. You don't get to sit back and say, well, I'm a victim because I was born poor.
Yeah.
You stand up because you have a voice.
Wow. Great.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. No.
I get carried away.
Yes, you're very passionate about it. So just before we come to the end, just tell us a bit about how the school, how it's funded, and about what kind of things the school needs help with. If we have a lot of teachers and schools watching, and schools like to help other schools. So what opportunities are there for people that want to help or partner with ABCs?
Okay. Well, we don't have any steady funding, no corporate sponsorship or anything like that. So we do very regular fundraising. We have a few kind people out there who donate regularly or have helped out with different fundraisers. But volunteering, there's so many ways to volunteer, whether it be at home, from abroad, or coming over. Everybody, I mean, it's volunteers that have built this place. It's been teachers that taught us how to teach and helped us design curriculum, nutritionalists who have come and taught us how to feed these people, these children, in an adequate way on a shoestring budget, people who have given their time, their money. It can be as simple as just liking us on Facebook and helping us to spread the word. But we do like to partner with schools, whether it be pen pal situations or project exchanges. We have a few schools, thanks to a newspaper in the UK, that are doing classroom sponsorship of a child. And we've got information about that through First News on our website. So, I mean, by all means, if you're interested, go on our website, go on our Facebook, reach out. There's a million different ways that you can help.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Tammy, for coming on today and sharing all the great information and inspiration about ABCs. And we look forward to seeing some of you on this summit. Hopefully, join us in Cambodia in May and make a difference to the lives of these children and get to meet the great Tammy Pomroy. So thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Helen.
Thanks.